Hello, and welcome to the channel. We're here in historic Weldon at the end of the canal trail. As you can see behind me, we've got an old railroad trestle. And there's a story behind that trestle. The railroad was here back in 1865 during the latter days of the Civil War. Now, of course, that was when there was trench warfare around Petersburg and Colonial Heights. It was pretty much the last gasp for the Confederacy. Lee had dug his troops in around Petersburg, and oftentimes the hospitals would become overfilled. And so at times they would send the walking wounded back down this rail over here to Weldon, where there was a makeshift hospital in a building that used to be a church. The story I'm about to tell is about one day in 1865 when there was a group of young men that were coming down the rail. Now, I'm not sure, but for some reason, some of them were riding on top of the cars. Evidently, that was a thing then. But for whatever reason, as the train on that day approached Weldon, there was a young man from Florida sitting on top of the car. Unbeknownst to him, just at the end here, before you get into town, there was a railroad, there was an arm that went up over the top of the cars. I'm not sure what it was. Perhaps it was an old signal light or a warning sign saying that the station was coming up, but nonetheless, that arm was there. Unfortunately for this young man, who was from a Florida regiment and was obviously wounded, he was not able to get out of the way in time. He would be struck by that metal arm and would fall to his demise. Now, some stories are just rumors. Some stories are just things that are passed down over time. But I'll put it this way. Now, perhaps you might be down here some night. Maybe you'll see a shadow move. Maybe you'll see something move over by the banks of the river and you can't quite explain what it is. Or maybe, just maybe, you'll hear a distant sound. Perhaps it's just the call of a whippoorwill. Or maybe it might be the sound of a poor young man from Florida crying out as he is being violently knocked off of a train. Well, we are still here in historic Weldon, and we're on a street where there are quite a few old antebellum style homes. And this home behind me is of particular interest. Now, it's difficult to find any information on the history of the house. I only know that it was built in the late 1800s by a local banker. Now, if you happen to be in Weldon, I would ask that you be respectful. There are people who still live in this house, and I wouldn't want anybody bothering them because of me. They may not even know about what happened here, but I do. I have a story about this house because I used to live here.